Alright, she's ready. The Saskia rebuild. Let me show you her features. Okay, so to start, Saskia was going to be tokens deck. That didn't work out, so that became Reaper King's token. And that works out, but it doesn't feel right. So I'm still tuning that, I'm still messing with it. So Saskia is going to be more of an attack deck, more of a traditional creatures and magic deck. Anyway, what do I have? For black, green, red, white, I have a 3/4 legendary human soldier who's hasty and vigilant. She comes into play, I pick somebody. Whenever one of my creatures smacks somebody else, it also hits that player that I chose. Now, since that's not combat damage, if I hit somebody who's, say, a creature equipped with sword of something or the other, I won't get a double trigger. But if a creature has double strike and I hit somebody, whoever I chose will take that same double damage. See, she'll stand up there. Alright, let's get to the land space first. We'll show you the mana base. Where does it end? Yeah, it ends about there. Okay. Excuse me. So, mana base is pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. I've got 3 of each basic land. It might not be right. I might need to juggle that. Maybe put in another forest instead of a mountain because I don't have as much red and I'm relying on green. But I've got other ways to get green. So I chose the Tarkir basics. These are also in Reaper King. I took them out and he's going to get foil Dominaria United basic lands once I decided on his final direct. And like I said, I'm still playing with him. So 3 swamps, 3 forest, 3 mountain, 3 plains, blah 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 blah. 12 basic lands. Done. Go. City Brass. She's 4 colors. I kind of need to hit the 4 colors. So sometimes I might need it so bad I'm willing to hurt myself. Command Tower. Sometimes, 4 colors. Gonna need all 4 colors. Sometimes I don't want to hurt myself. Exotic Orchard. 4 colors. Need the colors. Maybe my opponents can help me out. Now, most games, I can count on, if I'm playing with Long Pete, I'm going to have the black and the white because he always plays Jabari. Jabari is black, blue, white, so out of him, I'll always have black, white. With the other lads, it's kind of a toss-up. Cube plays a lot of green, a lot of red, so he should help me out there. The Genie, it's hit and miss. He likes to play a lot of blue. But anyway, Exotic Orchard, why not? High Market. You will not be swords to plowsharing my creature. I will sacrifice against a life stead. Kessig Wolf Run. The deck, in so much as it has a theme, the theme is evasion and getting damage through. I want to hit somebody, so the person I chose, who would be whoever's playing some kind of Pillow Fort, you can't hit me deck. Oh, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you real bad because I'm going to hit him real bad. So you're going to suck it. You think your creature is going to help you? You think your little bullshit and jam is going to help you? Propaganda? No, because I'm not attacking you. I'm just punching in the face as a side effect. So X green white, target creature gets +X/+0, trample until end of turn. I could put in Scarred Rage Pits, but Scarred Rage Pits, rather than X, it's just green white tap. Target creature gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn. So if I can generate more mana, then Kessig Wolf Run is better. Aggressive Verge comes into play dapped. Spend 2, go find plains and a forest card, throw them onto the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffle. Probably going to take this out for Cabal Coffers or Borg Tomb of Yawgmoth. I don't have those in the deck now, but I think I'm going to want them. So this would be one of the first things to cut, and you're going to see why in just a minute. Opal Palace. Add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. If you spend the mana and cast commander, she gets bigger. The more times I cast her out of the command zone with this, the bigger she gets. Or I can tap it for 1 color. It's a filter land with a possible upside. I think we all know that by now. Excuse me. Path of Ancestry. It's a companion tower that comes into play tapped, and if I cast another human or another soldier, I get to scry one. There's not a lot of humans in this deck. I think there's 6. Soldiers, I didn't think to count the soldiers. I should. To, make that scry more interesting. But anyway, ultimately, it's a command tower that comes into play tapped. Hammerheim. Why do I have this? Because I have one. I have one that's not doing anything. She's got red in her identity, so... Actually, this kind of argues for me taking out one of those basic mountains, doesn't it? Because I don't really need it. I don't need it as bad since I've got Hammerheim. Okay. So it taps red or taps to remove all land walking ability from a creature until end of turn. Now, land walking I really don't see that much anymore. The most I see land walking is people playing with Trailblazer's Boots. That gives a creature non-basic land walk. Other than that, it doesn't happen that much. So, but what the hell? Throw it in there. Vorra Stronghold. Add a colorless mana or put a creature from your graveyard on top of your library so you can redo it again, or somebody's going to Bajuka Bog you and you've got a key creature in the graveyard, you can snatch him out and put him where you can get him again, and then they can Bajuka Bog away and not get what they really wanted to get. You have My Hollow. If you don't have one of these and you play green, and you don't have financial constraints stopping you, I don't know what you're doing. This is one of the best green cards in Commander. You can tap it for colorless. It comes to play untapped. You can spend just one green, tap it to regenerate a creature. If you have the financial means, why wouldn't you play this? I mean, it's probably going up now again, though. Because when I first got these, my first batch, about 10 years ago, they were roughly €10. Then they went up to, I sold one for €100, maybe more, at the peak of the pandemic, and then I bought a near mint copy back again for about 3/4 of what I sold it for. So I thought that was a decent win. Anyway, I have a lot of these in a lot of different decks. Here's why I don't really worry about having the the Cross and Verge. I can get either one of these. Forest. I can't get both. I would like to have a Savannah. I would love to have the other 4 dual lands that she could have. She can have all but the 4 blue ones. But really don't want to spend €2,000 on the mana base for a Commander deck. Not anymore. Bought these a few years ago when I had the money for potential invest. I wanted to play them. Let's be fair. I bought them because I wanted them. And then I lie to myself and I say they're for initial future investment. No, I just wanted them. And I had the money to spend on it. So I got them. I've got one of each. And I have 2 Taigas, 2 Tropicals, and I think there's a third one. I know I have 12 dual lands. I have duplicates of 2 of them. Taiga and Tropical Island for sure. I think I have a duplicate of another one, but I cannot remember offhand. Anyway, she's got a Bayou and a Taiga. If I were to get another dual land for her, it would be Savannah, because the forests are searchable by several cards in the deck, as is the plains. So she's got 6 fetches. She's got all of the fetches she could possibly have. So Cross and Verge is probably superfluous. I most likely don't need it. She has all of the shock lands she needs. Dual lands would be preferable, but like I just said, I don't want to spend €2,000 on a damn mana base for a Commander deck. Not anymore. So that's the mana base. That's what I've got. Let's look at the artifacts. So I've got this kind of sorted. See, here's the artifact. So most of the artifacts are ramp. In fact, what I did is I started with the ramp package. So the ramp package: Soul Ring, Felwar Stone, Signet, Chromatic Lantern. Soul Ring, everybody knows it. I don't even fucking talk about it. Felwar Stone, it's basically Exotic Orchard for 2 mana that somebody can blow up pretty easily. Add 1 mana of any color the land and opponent controls could produce. Arcane Signet, it's a command tower for 2 mana. I'm not sure if I like this art as much as the others. I mean, it's nice, and I'm glad that they're printing different art, but I don't know, it's okay. I said that wrong. It's not that I don't like the art, it's I don't know if it fits Saskia. This art, in my mind, does not really fit Saskia, but I haven't taken the time to look at my other ones and see if there's one that fits her better. I just haven't bothered. Green Lantern, if you saw my mail call video from a week ago, was it? I think a week ago. I had ordered two of these anime lanterns, because Chromatic Lantern, it's one of those cards that there's a lot of printings. Oh my god. But there's not too many different art printings. There's different treatments. I mean, you've got the schematics treatment. You've got retro frame, but it's not the same. It's different art. So I got two of these. She's got one, and I think I put the other one into NECA's art, the anime lantern. Alright, so this is the mana artifacts. Let's look at the ramp suite. Okay, ramp suite. I've got Dawn Treader Elk. Comes into play, 2/2, spend 1 green. Now, I could put in a Sakura Tribe Elder, so I don't have to keep green up to go get the land. But I don't have any extra elders, and I've got the Dawn Treader that's shiny, so why not? Hey, I did put an elder in. Oh my god. So, elder, he's a Dawn Treader Elk, except you don't have to spend green, and he's a little bit weaker and smaller. 3 visits. 1 green, search library for a force card. Taiga, Bayou, God's Overgrown Tomb, anything like that. Throw it in the battlefield, then shuffle. Wood Elves. Comes to play, go find a force card. Bayou, Taiga, Overgrown Tomb, Stomping Ground, whatever I need at the time. Tempt with Discovery. Oh, I love this card. If I play green, I play this card. I mean, why not? And it's just funny. Cast it. I'm going to Google find a land. Would any of you gentlemen like to find a land too? And by now, all of them are experienced. Know what's going to happen. But it happens anyway. Somebody says, yes, I'm going to find a land because I need the land. Another guy will say, don't do it. He's going to get some kind of 2-land bullshit combo. Do not feed him. Dude, I need the land. Look how behind I am. And then the third guy's like, well, if you're going to get a land, I'm going to get a land. And then the last guy is just like, oh, fine, fuck it, I'll get a land too. So I get 4 land for 4 mana. 4 land, any land I want. Basic, non-basic, it doesn't matter. I get whatever I want. Okay, now for the... I don't have a whole lot of reactions. This is my interaction suite. Kind of. I mean, there's other things with interaction, but... Cosmic Caterpillar, 1 green, 1/1. Spend 1 green, sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. So I have to keep the mana up to do that. Seal of Cleansing. 1 and a white, throw it down, and just sacrifice it. I don't have to spend any mana. Don't have to keep mana up. You just play an artifact. If I don't like it, you're not keeping it. Stroke of Midnight. 2 and a white. Was it Connor that told me about this? One of the lads, one of our housemates, told me about this card. Because I was talking about Beast Within and Generous Gifts. And he said, well, Stroke of Midnight's better. You give them a smaller creature. And I didn't know the cards. I looked it up and holy shit, I do get a smaller creature. Now, the difference is it's the same casting cost as Generous Gift, 2 and a white. It's an instant. Destroy target non-land permanent. Generous Gifts or Beast Within destroy any permanent. As long as it's not indestructible, but that's beside the point. So this can't hit lands. The other 2 can. This one, the controller creates a 1/1 white human creature. The other 2, they get a 3/3. Of course, if you blow up their land, then that's only fair. They get a 3/3, right? So... now for the kind of board wipe suite. Well, this is 1 in red sorcery. It does 2 damage to every creature. All up. Eat fire, bitches! It's to clean up small creatures so I can attack. It's going to hit a few of my creatures, but not many of them, so I'm not too worried about it. Damn! I can destroy a target creature! Damn! I can overload it and destroy all the creatures! Okay. Bone Shredder. 2 and a black, 1/1 flyer. Echo 2, so kind of the echo I'm counting on because I've got some recursion in here. You know, I've got black. I've tried to lean into each color. I tried to lean into black for recursion, red for haste and fire, green for ramp, which is pretty obvious, and white for protection. I tried to, since she's 4 colors, take the core offerings of each color and incorporate it into a amalgamated whole. So Bone Shredder comes into play. I destroy a non-creature, non-black, non-artifact creature. It's 1/1 flyer, so it can block until my next upkeep, and then I choose to play the Echo or not. Typically not, because I plan to recur it. And then it'll die and I can bring it back. Hideous Laughter. So Pyroclasm is a sorcery for 2. 2 damage to all creatures. Hideous Laughter costs twice that. 2 colorless, double black. But it can instantly give all creatures -2 until end of turn. So it gets around indestructible and other nonsense. Again, it's to... So I've got one main board wipe. I've got Damn if I need to wipe the whole board, if things have gotten that out of control. I've got Hideous Laughter and Pyroclasm to try to keep them from getting out of control, mainly because a lot of the lads have been playing token decks. So that'll take out a lot of the token creatures. Okay, let's look at the artifacts. So these are artifact buffs. That's this section. I don't have a whole lot. I would like to have another sword, but I just don't want to spend the money on it, and I don't feel... I could take a Sword of Feast and Famine, Light and Shadow, Fire and Ice, take those 3 for my modern Bant 4 Swords deck, but I just don't want to scavenge another deck to feed this one, so I'm going to see how it works. Maybe I need to do that. So I've got Shadow Spear. 1, equip 2, equip creature gets +1/+1, trample and lifelink. And then it's got this neat little ability that nobody really plays because it's weird that it's stapled on here. I understand from the storyline why it's there, but it doesn't come up that often. But when it does, oh, it's really handy. 1, your opponent's stuff loses hexproof and indestructible until the end of the turn. Boomba. Trample and lifelink too. So, and then Basilisk Collar. I think this would be best on the Inferno Titan. So if 1 mana, 2 to equip. If Inferno Titan has Death Touch and Lifelink, that means when he attacks, he's got 3 1 points of damage to deal however I see fit. So I can hit 3 creatures with 1 point of damage from him, and since he has Death Touch and Lifelink, he will kill them. Sword of Sinew and Steel. So this is the sword when I was in Journey of Tea a few days ago, Peter, this backpack dealer, was there, and I went through his stuff, and he had a good deal for this. I think he had 3 of them, so I picked up 1. 3, 2 to equip. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, protection from black and red. Not bad, pretty good. Whenever it deals damage to somebody, destroy up to 1 target artifact and up to 1 target planeswalker. And it doesn't have to be the guy you hit. So it goes with the theme of Saskia. Saskia is, if I pick you, you're taking damage. Sword of Sinew and Steel is, if this guy gets hit and you've got something I don't like, but I can't get through to hit you, well, you're going to lose it anyway. So let's get into the... This is kind of the random suite. This is just different random effects that I thought would be good in the game. Good for me. Spore Frog. Fog on legs. So just sacrifice it and fog. Yesterday, playing with Moldraza, I got into the recursion where I could just recast Spore Frog with Moldraza every turn. Long Pete was looking at that, and he's kind of a new player, and his decks don't really have the tools to let him deal with that sort of thing. And I told him this, and I explained what's going to happen. I will fog every turn. You are not going to hit me again. And he played out a few more turns to make sure that that was what was going to happen. And he really wasn't happy with it because he couldn't do anything about it. He just did not have the tools. And when he attempted to do something about it, I had a counter for it. He attempted to Bojuka Bog me, and I had Stifle. Another time he attempted to exile my graveyard, and I just used Volra Stronghold to put the Spore Frog back on top of my library. And I said, this is how the game is going to go now, because you killed Yiji, and no, Yiji didn't play that game. I had killed Cube, and so it was down to Long Pete and I. And so it took a few turns, but he eventually conceded because he conceded this wasn't going to work. Anyway, I've got Spore Frog in here. He'll love it. Champion of Lamholt. 1 green for a 1/1 human warrior. Yeah, human. But a warrior. But she's human. So with the Oval Palace, I can scry. Creature's power less than her power can't block creatures I control. Whenever another creature comes into play under my control, she gets bigger. So the bigger she gets, the less of my stuff my opponents can block. So she's part of the Evasion suite. Shalai, Voice of Plenty. Protection for myself. My 1 Planeswalker. I think I only have 1 Planeswalker in the deck. And my other creatures. She gives them hexproof, and I can make them bigger as I see fit. Other than that, she can always fly over and smack somebody for 3. Then Vala, Keeper of Silence. Beautiful Angel, 2 white for 3/4. They're the same. They both cost 4. They're both legendary creature angel. They both have the same power and toughness. Huh. Didn't really think about that. They both fly. Wow. Chicks with wings that can fly. What a game. Activated abilities of creatures your opponents control cannot be activated. This shuts down all kinds of random things. I mean, this is... It's funny. Sometimes your opponents aren't playing creatures as that many activated abilities, as more enter the battlefield effects. But once in a while, they'll play something, and you'll have Linvala, and they'll... Okay, I'm going to give all my creatures double strike until end turn by paying 5. Linvala says no. Oh, god damn it. So she's good. This guy. Oh, this guy's funny. This guy's great. I've got 1 in Kervek, but he's jamming. He's Korasrata. So 3 black, red hybrid, 3/3 flyer with Wither. I don't really care about that. What I care about is creatures your opponents control with counters on them cannot attack or block. There's a lot of lads I play with that are playing creatures with, and they put counters on them. So those creatures just kind of sit there and look cool. As long as I've got the Kolrath Knight in play. If you don't have one of these and you're playing these colors, I highly recommend picking one up. The flat one is cheap. The flat one is worth nothing. This foil one was only €2. I think I spent €2 on the actual card and €1.50 for post. Got it from... Where did I order it from? Bulgaria? I believe Bulgaria. But it's just a lot of fun. Sigarda hosted another kind of random hoser. So 5/5 Angel, hexproof, so your opponents can't target her. Spells and abilities your opponents control cannot make you sacrifice things. So if they have Grave Pact, if they have Eldrazi, if they have any bullshit like that, if they cast a spell, everybody choose a creature and then sacrifice the rest. No, you can't make me do it. I refuse because I have Sigarda. Okay, Urbras the Hidden. He's here to give everybody haste so they can start smashing face as quickly as possible. 3 red for 4/4 Phyrexian Praetor. My creatures have haste. Your creatures come into play tapped, so they can't block. Mary's Wake doubles my mana production from my lands, makes my creatures bigger by 1/1, so decent inclusion in the deck. Elishnorn Grand Cenobite. 7/4. I always forget the Vigilance. I think I always say whenever I show her that I always forget the vigilance, and someday I will remember the vigilance. Other creatures I control get bigger. Creatures my opponent's control get smaller, and a lot of them will die when you come into play. So there's that. Okay, recursion suite. So what do I have for recursion? I've got a lot of stuff for recursion. I've got Angelic Renewal. It's a shit card. It's a crap card. It's not worth a goddamn, but I've got another card that makes it quite effective. If you've seen my Nalia video, you know what that card is. Actually, I've got two cards that make it quite effective. Anyway, so it stays in play whenever a creature I control would die. I can sacrifice this, and then it comes back from the graveyard. Death Denied. A lot of people want to get rid of my graveyard because they've recognized that I like to have recursion in my decks. I like to reuse my cards. I like to have reanimation of some kind. So somebody Bojuka Bogs me, and I don't have the Volrath Stronghold ready, I can always cast Death Denied instantly and return X creature cards from my graveyard to my hand. So it saves me for a moment. There she is, Lurrus of the Dream Den. If Angelic Renewal is in your graveyard, you can recast it, so it just sits there and it can save somebody else. And she's a 3/2 lifelinker, so she's pretty cool. And she worked, oh my god, she works out so well in Nalia. That's one of the first cards that got exiled in that game. People are like, oh, we gotta get rid of Lurrus. And if I don't have Lurrus, Marin of Clan Telnoth, Clan Neltoth. 2 black-white for 3. A lot of 3/4s. A lot of 4-mana 3/4s I'm noticing. Jesus Christ. Maybe that's the theme. The theme of the deck is 4-mana 3/4. That's the sub-theme. So this 4-mana 3 human. Boomba. Another creature control dies. You get experienced. At the end of your turn, choose a creature from graveyard. If its CMC is less than your experience, put it in play. Otherwise, put it in your hand. So, recursion. Beacon of Unrest. 5 mana. Put target artifact creature card from any graveyard into play under your control, and then shuffle it back in. So, if the magic gods smile upon you, you can draw it again, do it again. Sun Titan. Oh, I love Sun Titan. 4 white for a 6/6 vigilant motherfucker. Whenever Sun Titan enters battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with CMC 3 or less from graveyard to the battlefield. And Mikaeus and Hollowed. One of the reasons I don't have so many humans in the deck, I've got Mikaeus. So 3 triple black, 5/5, intimidating zombie. Whenever a human deals damage, this actually worked once. For years, I had Mikaeus in different decks, years, and never did that trigger, ever, until I was playing Karavek against Cube. No, Hirobi. It was Hirobi against Cube, and Cube is playing Grayson Starn. So he did some bullshit where all opponents took a point of damage, and Grayson Starn was out, and Grayson Starn said, hey, you take another 2 points of damage, you sons of bitches. And then Mikaeus said, Grayson Starn, you're a human. You hurt my master. You must die. And so he killed Grayson Starn. He killed a human that dealt damage to me. Oh, it felt so good. Other non-human creatures control get +1/+in them and have Undying. So the +1/+ encounters from Shalia become less interesting if I have him out, because Undying, of course, is they would come back into play with a +1/+ encounter if they don't already have one. So there's some tension there. It's kind of a non-bow, but I'm rolling with it. Alright, let's look at the primary attackers. Is this all? And this is Cook.
We didn't find that cheese you wanted.
Did you find the other cheese?
We found the hermelin, yeah.
So you're going to make hermelin?
Yeah.
Okay. Hermelicious. Cook. So these are the primary attackers. This is the reason for the deck, the way I built it, and what I imagined in my head. Battery's going to die. Let me switch. Okay, replace the battery. I was talking about the primary attacker. So The idea with her is choose somebody, hit somebody else, as a side effect, hit the person. Okay, good. Hit the person that I chose. So I need creatures that are viable attackers, creatures that can get through. In my head, I thought I would have a lot of creatures with shadow, flying.
What the fuck is that?
It's a Soltari Priest. He's a 2/2, 2/1. He's a 2/1 for 2 mana.
It looks.
Protection from red and
It's
shadow.
a metal idiot.
It's this guy. That's the priest. This is a bridge. This is a planar bridge. This is the Soltari Priest. Yeah, look, he's wearing robes.
I thought this was like a cliff and this was some rock and this was some kind of robot, that this is the head. These are some kind of...
No, this is the planar bridge, and this is a core cleric. He's like an alien guy.
That's really weird.
It's kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah.
And it says, fire is the test of gold, adversity,
it's
a strong man.
shiny.
Yeah, very shiny.
Yeah, I like the shiny.
But he can't be blocked. So when I attack somebody with him, they can't block him. I thought I would have more of these guys in the deck, but there's not that many good creatures with shadow. So I just picked what I could get.
This is a weird idiot.
That's Micaeus the Unhallowed. He's a zombie knight. He's a priest that became a zombie.
I don't like zombies. They're so spooky and so stupid.
What about this guy?
What the?
He's black for a 3/2 with shadow.
Is he a shadow?
He's got shadow. He can't be blocked. He can't block either, but I don't really care about that because I want him to hit people. And if I've got shadow and they don't, I can hit them all day. And all they can do is complain about it.
Yay.
So if a card be put in your opponent's graveyard from anywhere, instead it exiles with a void counter. I have this on him, but that's not...
I'll put it in.
And I will make use of it if it comes up. Sacrifice him, choose an exiled card an opponent owns, the void counter on it, and I can play it this turn. It's nice to have the option, but really he's here because he's decent stats, cheap, low cost, and shadow. If he didn't have that, I would still have him in this deck. Soltari Visionary. So 2/2 for 3 mana. Again, shadow. If he hits anybody, I get to blow up one of their enchantments. So, double duty. I got one of these in a trade, and I gave it to my daughter. So because it's just dirt cheap, I bought a full art one for this deck because I think it's just so funny. 3 mana for a 3/3, and Mama's Coming. Whenever Albert Cub attacks, a player controls 8 or more lands. I can look at the top 8 cards of my library and put a creature card, any creature, if it's Elish Norn. I can cast Elish Norn for free, and she's tapped and attacking that dude. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's unlikely to go off because of the 8 land thing, but still, he's cute and it's cool. Drana Liberd.
You mean Mama's coming?
Yeah, Mama's Coming. See, this is the Albert. Is he cute?
He's so cute.
We already have one. See,
Oh, yeah,
that
but
one's
he's-
mine.
But he's still so cute.
Yeah, I know. That's why I put him in the deck. He's gonna bite somebody in the butt.
Ay, ay, ay.
Look, it's a vampire.
What is this?
That's somebody's helmet. That's a helmet of a knight that tried to attack the Albert cave, and the Alberts ate him.
Nom nom nom.
Yep. So Drana Liber, now her. Okay, so she's 3 mana, 2/3, flying for a strike. So she fits the bill as being a low casting cost creature, flying, so she's got evasion, first strike. But if she hits somebody, put a +1/+1 counter each attacking creature I control. That doesn't work with Micaeus. And I haven't figured out the tension yet. I haven't figured out if I want to take her out and replace her with something else. I'll probably leave her in the deck for the initial games, see how it works, see how much of a problem it really is, and then go from there. The other thing I could do is I could put Ion Storm in the deck. Ion Storm is a 2 colorless, 1 red enchantment, and you spend something. I think you spend 1 in a red, remove a counter from a permanent you control, and deal 2 points of damage. I think that's how it works. So maybe I should put an Ion Storm in here, and then just the counters actually become more of a benefit. Questing Beast. This guy, I mean, he's so good, but he doesn't really fit in any of my decks. None of my opponents play him either, so it doesn't fit in it. And it's weird that you've got a 4-mana 4/4 with Vigilance, Death Touch, Haste in green. Can't be blocked by weak creatures. Your combat damage can't be prevented. When he hits an opponent, it also hits a planeswalker that, I mean, my god, all this crap on this guy, and he's not worth much. It's astounding. And it's not really because of power creep, because he's certainly powerful. It's that, what do you put him in? He's got no real home. I don't think any modern decks play it. I could be wrong. There's probably some rogue modern decks, but I don't think any of the major level or competitive level decks play it. I should check MTG Top 8 and see that. I mean, he could be, hell, he's legendary. He could be a commander. I was thinking of a mono green beast deck. Maybe he should command a mono green beast deck. Anyway, it's surprising to me that he, for all these abilities, that he really doesn't, his financial value is very low. And again, I think it's because he doesn't know. That's fine, you can talk. Especially Emma. They'd like it when they hear Emma. Zeotor's Envoy. Okay, instead of a 3/4, he's a 5/4, but again for 4. He's a lizard man.
Ugh. I think.
But he's reading a book.
Oh. Just do you remember in Big Hero 6 how what was his name? That crazy guy, how he wanted to be the lizard?
Yeah.
Then he would probably love that.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name? Frank?
I can't remember. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, that guy. What's his name? I don't know.
The mascot guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
So, Trample. 5/4 Trample. In the early game, he'll probably get through. Later game, he's going to have more trouble getting through. Whenever he deals combat damage to player, I look at the top card of my library. Just the top one. If it's land, I can play it.
I think it was Frank.
Could be.
Or something.
If it's a spell with mana value less than or equal to the damage dealt. So, if I attack with him, and they block with the 3/3, I look at the top card. If the CMC, it would have to be 1 or less. Yeah, 2 or less. If it's 2 or less, then I can play it without paying the mana cost. Cast spells, yeah. If you don't, it goes in my, either way it goes in my hand. So if he attacks and they block the 4/4 and he dies, he still does 1 point of damage. So I'm either going to play a land or draw a card, because there's not many things here that only cost 1. So sorry, Gorillas. So 2 white red, 3/2 shadow. And when he damages any opponent, when he hits somebody, and they're not going to block because they have shadow and nobody else is playing shadow, especially not like this, I can redirect the damage from my opponent to one of their creatures. So he would hit for 3, so I can lightning bolt a creature if I don't want to, if that's a better target. Which, in many cases, it will be. Blood Baron of the Scopa. I just like this guy. I know he's not worth a damn, and I know people keep telling me he's a bad card. I just like him. I mean, 3 black-white for 4/4 lifelinker with protection from black and white. Right there, that package is significant. So you can't path him, swords him, terrorize, well, heroes downfall him, you can't do that, swift end, none of that shit. And this other stuff, I just ignore that. So 30 more life, opponent 10 life, doesn't happen that often, I don't care about that. But even if it didn't have that, and you just had lifelink protection from black and white and some cool quote, some cool text, I would play him. I have Mirren. She gives me experience counters. And the experience counters don't care what gave them to you. So I might as well put this guy in. 3 red-white for 3/3 flying lifelink haster. When he attacks, I get an experience counter. Then I also get a 2/2 red rebel that's tapped and attacking for each experience counter I have. So if Mirren has given me 2, and I play this guy, and I attack, then I have 3. Then I've got 3 rebels. And conversely, at the end of my turn, if I have something CMC 3 or less in my graveyard, I can recur it with Mirren. So they work together pretty nicely. I like that. And that's 2 red-white, tapped and tap rebel we control. Return authority from graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Kind of sucks that it's tapped, so you don't want to do this as an instant at the end of the turn of the opponent preceding you. Thunderball Hellkite, so he's really fallen out of favor. He was really popular in Standard when Black Blue Fairies was played all the time, and he took care of most of the fairies just by coming into play and attacking. But I wanted more creatures with evasion, so he's decent stats, 5 for a 5/5 flyer. Yes, there are better things. Yes, I agree. There are better things, but I own one, and he's not doing anything, so I might as well put him to work because I already paid for him. Flying haste. When he enters the battlefield, 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control. Okay, so I should slow down and read the card. So when he comes into play, 1 point of damage to each creature with flying your opponent's control, and they get tapped. So when he comes into play, tap down all my opponent's flyers so my stuff can get through easier. Obviously, he wouldn't be able to be blocked because all my opponent's flyers be tapped. Hellkite Tyrant. He's just here to be funny. 6 for a 6/5 flying trampler. When he smacks somebody, I steal all their artifacts. Beginning my upkeep, if I have 20 more artifacts, I win. That's it. Game's over. Shuffle up, go to the next one. Inferno Titan. It would be nice to be able to put Primeval Titan in here, but I understand why Primeval Titan is banned, and I agree with it. Especially the way I play with the lands I play, I'm fine with it. On the other hand, I kind of don't like that I've got 3 out of 4 of the Titans. But it is what it is. So when he comes into play or attacks, I get 3 1 points of damage to split however I want among up to 3 things and burn them. And like I said, he's a great candidate for Basilisk Collar. There he is, Grave Titan. When he comes into play or attacks, I get dudes, and he's got Death Touch. He's pretty ugly, but he's shiny. Okay, I want to attack. I want to attack more than once. So I put Aurelia in here. We've got this flat. It's not in good condition. This card is heavily played, but she still is what she is. So 2 double red, double white. 3/4 again. 3/4. But 6 mana. So 6 mana, 3/4, not a 4 mana. Flying, Vigilance Haste. Whenever she attacks the first time each turn, untap all my creatures, and then I get a second combat phase. Now, if I've got creatures with tap abilities, she untaps them. She doesn't care if the creatures, she doesn't care why they were tapped. All she cares about is that they are tapped and that they're going to untap. It's fine, don't worry about it. And just for fun, I used to have him as a commander, and the deck just did not work. I couldn't get it to work the way I wanted. So I took it apart, and I put him up for sale, and nobody wants to buy him. But he's still 7 mana for a 7/7 flying haster that steals all the dragons. And next year sometime we're going back to Tarkir. So maybe it's going to take a while. But I know Cube. He buys a precon every set. So actually if he buys a dragon precon, Karthus would be pretty funny against him. How many dragons do you have? 8? Karthus. They're my dragons now. And they all have haste. And tap them and they'll smack you. Okay, this is my protection suite. So Semester's End, 3 and a white, exile any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers I control. And they come into play, back into play at the beginning of the next end step. So instantly, and if they're creatures, they come back to play with +1/+1 counter, which doesn't really work with Mikaeus, but it is what it is. Maybe I really do need that Ion Storm. or some other thing to do with the counters. I really need to think about that. Ooh. Is there some... Okay, Spike Feeder gives counters, doesn't take them. Spike Cannibal, I think, takes all the counters from one thing when it comes in. But I've got to think about how to get rid of these counters if I've got my chaos in play. So, anyway, if it's Planeswalker, it comes to play with additional loyalty. Guardian of Faith, 3/2 for 3. He's vigilant, he's flashy, comes into play. Any number, so this exiles the creatures. So when they come back into play, I will get any entering the battlefield effects that is present. That will repeat because they've been exiled and are returning to the battlefield. He, because he phases them out, I will not. But he still protects the team. So if there's a board wipe, I can slap him down. Any number of other target creatures will phase out. So I need to make sure I don't have anything with the protection from white. That's the other thing. This is any number. It's not targeting. So even if something has protection from white, like Blood Baron of Vizkopa, he can still end the semester. If I have Blood Baron of Vizkopa, because he targets to phase out, well, Blood Baron's going to die to whatever I'm trying to save everybody from. Little considerations, little interactions. Okay, part of their protection suite. A lot of people playing blue, but sporadically. It comes and goes. It comes in waves. If the genie is playing, he plays a lot of blue. Cube, it's about 40% of the time. Long Pete, it's 100% of the time because he always plays Jabari. The Tribal Knight, always, always, always. And he's getting really good at that deck because he plays all the time. He's getting a lot of experience with that specific deck. Because I change my decks every week, more often than not, I don't build up that experience with that deck in as quick as time as he does. So I've got Power Blast and Red Elemental Blast. So I've got 2 ways to counter a blue spell or blow up a blue card in play. So if he's casting Jabari, and I think he's going to attack me, I can preemptively counter it. If he's got Jabari in play, and then he decides to attack me, I can blow him up. No more Jabari for you. Jibba jabba die. Dual Caster Mage comes into play. Copy target instant or sorcery. I can choose new targets. He's flashy. He's a human. But he's a wizard. So, if somebody casts a Cyclonic Rift, I can throw it on Dual Caster Mage, and they can eat a rift too. If they're going to rift us, they can fucking join in the fun of picking everything up. Bastards. Or, if Cube plays his big Eldrazi, take 2 extra turns, blow things up, draw a card, you know, that stupid spell, well, I can copy it, and mine goes off first. So I get my turns first, and I draw my, so he's fun. Speaking of recursion, I've got green, so yes, I have an Eternal Witness. I don't think actually I do. Sadiq Kondo and Ikushidiki do not have Eternal Witness because her power is bigger than her toughness. That is why they do not have one. Everybody else with green that I have, yeah, they've got an Eternal Witness. What do you think of that? How many of you have never seen that before? How many of you have seen it before and forgotten about it? Yes, my creature's getting through. 2 and a black, enchantment. Black, target creature gains shadow until end of turn. Oh yeah, so the Viashino warrior dude, yeah, take the full 5. Okay, there's the only planeswalker in the deck, Sark and Vol. I can give my creatures +1/+1 in haste until end of turn. I can steal somebody's creature until end of turn, and it untabs, and then I say, so I can send it right back at somebody. Or next 6, I get 5 4/4 Dragon creature tokens. Anyway, he's kind of cool. No, I do have 2 planeswalkers, I forgot. So him and another one, I'll show you in just a moment. Defense of the Heart. I've got some big creatures in here. I've got Elish Norn, I've got Karthus, Tyrant of Jund. I don't want to pay full cost. I don't want to wait to draw them and cast them, so Defense of the Heart. Thorny Green, at the beginning of my upkeep. If an opponent controls 3 or more, just one of them, doesn't matter who. If they have 3 or more dudes, sacrifice this, go find 2 dudes, put them into play. Bang, bang, done. Here's the other Planeswalker. I'm not sure if he's the best one. I want to kind of experiment with cards I have, cards don't have a home, things I got for the art, but are still kind of useful. So I'm going to see how Garruk works. 2 green for loyalty. Up to one target creature gets +3/+3 and trample it in turn, or -2, create a 3/3 beast. And then if opponent controls more creatures than me, he gets 1 loyalty counter back, so it's net -1. -7. I get an emblem. At the beginning of my end step, I can go find a creature, put it in play, then shuffle. At the beginning of my end step, so it can't attack that turn, but still, any creature. But that would take at least 4 turns, because play him 1 turn, and then tick him up 2, 5, 3, 6, 4, 7, and then the next turn, the following turn, I can finally trigger the... Unless semester's end and he comes back with the +1 with additional loyalty, then yeah, I'll see how he works. From you to me, so me to you. Some of the lads have started to play board wipes like, I think it's called Starfall. You deal X damage to all the creatures. Or Cube with his Grace and Star likes to do 1 damage to everything. So this, it's kind of costly. These days it is. 5 mana these days. 6 years ago or so, it didn't feel like as much, but today with the faster setup time, people getting their board out quicker, 5 mana feels like more than it used to. But anyway, so yes, I have to have 5 mana up, but all damage from any one source, and it doesn't care what that source is. If it's a sorcery that does 13 points of damage to all the creatures, boom, dude, game's over for you.